Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Us and My Mice. Love you and I love you so much. Oh, 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 I just love you. I just like help. I just like help. I just like you too. I just like you. I just love you. Happy New Year! I love you. Say goodbye. You're going to school, and that's okay. Yum 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 yum. I just love you.
Hi, welcome to the Wednesday show. The Hope Collection and Optimize My Life presents Knowing Kindness. I'm your host, Mary, and right now on Wednesdays, we're going to talk about kindness and emotions and self-awareness and how little acts could lead to a lot bigger things. Join us every Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern when we offer Hope for Lunch. Optimize My Life was started, and the legacy continues to empower you and give you tools to help yourself, help others, to help others. Excuse me. We are sponsored by the Hope Collection, non-for-profit organization, and was founded by Joel Griffin, who wanted to reach out and empower people and give them the tools to help others. Optimize My Life show covers the 8 areas: faith, family, food, housing, wellness, energy, arts, and education. And its slogan is to help others by helping them help others. And if you look at the situation and you say, hey, there's 8 things, and that's why there's a broad base of things, and you have a slogan to help others, it sounds pretty synergetic. And you are right. Our goal is to optimize your life and everybody's life to take them forward, to improve the quality of life across the board for them, your families, and your extended families, in your communities, in your regions, across the country and across the globe. The beauty of that is that, and it's overly exciting, is that helping others, and if we approach this with that respect, it's giving without really giving. The cycle of appreciation is approaching life in a viewpoint of not catching up, but all you want to do is give. When you take that hook away, the objective is to help other people, and the beauty is to help them so they can help others. It's a pay it forward kind of approach. And as you're building everybody up to build other people in their lives, in their neighborhoods, and their families, then everything begins to appreciate what this whole show is about. And now we're excited to be able to offer an opportunity for you to come, to listen, to engage, and find resources, tips, and tools, and participate in our Facebook group at Optimize My Life. And welcome to our show. And today I have a special guest on. There we go. I just lost her. So, in the German holiday of Christmas, yesterday, and we celebrate today in our house, is St. Nicholas Day. And St. Nicholas Day is similar to Christmas, but not quite the same. It was started or called the Feast of St. Nicholas. and it started around the 3rd century. And all about a man who built and made toys and handed them out to children. It was a kind old man who went out of his way to make sure everybody had what they needed. And it wasn't just toys, it was treats, it was coal or potatoes. And kids who are naughty ended up with a switch. Kids are given special gifts and cookies, candies, and they leave letters for St. Nicholas and carrots or grass or straw for the reindeer or the horses, depending on where you are in the world. And in the mornings, they find small presents in their shoes or stockings or a plate by their bed or their door. Excuse me. And this kind of has gone away with times, and we've kind of wrapped it all into Christmas here in the United States and a lot of other places. So I have a special guest on today, and would you like to say hello?
Hey, Mary, sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm having like serious technical difficulties. My phone's a little cracked, so it wouldn't let me like press the the different buttons on there. So sorry about that.
You're good.
My youngest one says hi.
I am.
So Maria, honey, don't put that in your mouth, okay? Yeah. Okay, I'll be right there. I'll be there, and then you can. Okay. Thank you. I like your outfit. So sorry about that, but I loved everything you're saying, and I love the St. Nicholas thing, and I wish more families did that because, like you said, it was just an old man who just did it for no reason, just to be kind, And I would love to hear more stories about people just doing kind things. Like there's this gentleman who has a BMW who clearly has quite a bit of money, right? But I see him on my road every summer picking up trash. Just probably because he doesn't like, because it's dirty, because there's trash. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to see somebody who, because people assume that people who have money don't care, wouldn't do something like that. But I see him doing it all the time. I would love for people to do selfless acts of kindness, and it would be great to hear about them. So if anybody who's listening has a story about somebody they want to put on blast or a story themselves, about a random act of kindness that they did, I think today on St. Nicholas Day would be a great day to hear about it. What do you think?
I do. And I got fortunate enough to have a very sweet daughter who her mission in life, she have her tell you the story of how she was born, she will argue with you and tell you no, she's not born. She believes she's an angel from the clouds and that God put her here to help others. And so her mission in life is to help others. She, past summer, she's 8, and she is just hilarious.
But you know what, though? She's spot on, and that's why God did put us here.
was to be kind to each other, was to be, helpful to one another, not to break each other down. Is we're all brothers and sisters in Christ, and it breaks my heart because there's people who just have struggles and stuff like that, and that's why I truly believe that we need to ask our children more, what needs to be changed, is because they're doing a lot better job than we are on focusing on these things. I think I've shared with you too is my daughter Layla, who's now 8, and for our nonprofit Potted Plants for Seniors, she started the Pen Pal program when she was 5, and we have sent out over 67,000. And it's like, it's working with the kids in leadership as well as they see things from a pure point of view because they're not so bogged down from the adult issues that they need to deal with. And, there's a lot to learn from our kids. I truly believe that if we give them a chance.
Well, they've studied this, and kids naturally are born good. They're born to accept everything around them. They are taught by their environment and all aspects of their environment to judge and do things because it's what they see. And when
You're absolutely right. And the way that I describe that is children are blank canvases waiting to be painted.
And the biggest aspect as parents, and we're all guilty of this, someone irritates us,
What kind
someone,
of picture are we going to paint?
that's it. And being careful about what you say so they can hear it. Someone makes you mad, you're going to say something.
But you have to watch what you say because they're watching you. And also too is I think is part of being a good parent and really is, sending good human beings out there is being the example when they're not looking to.
And that's exactly it. It's especially in this day and age with social media, kids get on there at a very young age. Granted, yes, my daughter has a social media account that she doesn't look at without me being right there. She don't know how to post or do anything. But that's because she developed a program that her school uses called the Kindness Club. And it's all about different aspects of kindness and different aspects of self-awareness.
And that's great. And it's like the thing is, that social media is such a great tool to be able to get things out there, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. Is it's like the thing that scares me with these kids having these social media accounts is I was bullied awful when I was in school, but it stopped when I went home. Is now these kids are bullied all the time on social media and other aspects of things. It's almost like they can't get away from it. Which scares me.
And that's it.
And
they go to school, they come home, they have cell phones, you have everything, and there's no escape from that reality. Back when we did something dumb,
that's why we
it was.
We don't have iPads. My kids don't have tablets. My oldest, I just got her a watch where she can text and call me or the police or 10 contacts that I put in there, but that's it. And it has a tracker on it, so I know where she is. But other than that, it's like I feel like these kids are having cell phones too young. A recent example is I know of a case where I believe she's 11 and she was talking to this like 17-year-old or something like that in some other state. And the long and the short of it was this, like she caused a mess with amongst her family just because she just wanted to be with this boy, and it was because she had a cell phone and she was on social media and she met him and he targeted her. And that's scary as a mom, especially a mom of girls.
It is.
With them being on there because it's where do pedophiles hang out? Where there's kids, right? And it's kind of like where a predator's going to hang out, where there's kids, social media. So it's like it's scary at the same time because obviously we use social media a lot for a lot of things. But what's the appropriate age to have a social media account? Like I remember making mine on my 16th birthday party with my friends there, and my friends Rachel, Emily, Kelly, and Alex. And my mom had to have like the password and everything like that to it too, you know. But even still, when I was younger, and it was MySpace, is there would be like older guys. I remember one time who saw me at a movie and actually found me on MySpace and wrote to me, you know, and I was only 16 years old, you know. So what do you think the age is for, you know, having a social media account, and how do you feel about it?
Well, I don't think an age requirement. I think it's more the maturity level. Because you can have
That's reasonable, yeah, definitely.
some kids at 16 aren't mature enough to handle an understanding. But also, it's, you know, how does that person feel about themselves? Because the more self
Mm-hmm.
aware you are and the more happy you are with yourself internally, the less you're going to seek out that attention. Because a lot of these teens,
Right.
their validation is based on
Exactly.
how many likes
It's
they
based
get in a
on the
post.
Instagram selfies and stuff like that, and that's what I mean by it. That's what I'm worried about. Is I'd rather their self-esteem be through doing good things and making a difference in their community and realizing that they have a voice and that they're next to take the torch and run the show, you know. And I think your daughter's program is fantastic, and I think it's so crucial, and I think we need more of them, you know, so that, like you said, their validation isn't by on how many likes they get or, you know, views. That their validation is based off of the changes that they were able to make that needed to happen. You know, the good things that they did that really warm the heart. You know, are there any parents that are listening that, you know, want to weigh in on anything?
Not yet. I usually
No.
don't get people in till about 11:30.
Oh, really? Well, by knowing that, then we just chit chat. You know.
And that's what we do. This is how my show operates. We just, you know, talk back and forth. We talk about, you know, different acts of emotional awareness, different struggles that we focus on or face, you know, especially like Christmas time, you know. And you have
Yeah,
two special.
Christmas is tough this year for me personally. I don't know about you, but I'm just, like I told you, I'm having a hard time getting into the spirit of the season. I don't know if it's because Thanksgiving was so late or what it is, but it's just, it feels like a tax this year,
You
you
know,
know, and I hate that because
I
it
think
shouldn't, you know.
the big reason why is they didn't have the big hype for Black Friday. For me, it was Halloween, Hallmark starts. I do. You know,
Girl, get out. Oh my
you
gosh, you were talking to a veteran, like, oh my gosh, Black Friday shopper. Like, I brought my newborn with me Black Friday shopping. It was like, well, she's going to get up and eat anyway. Out we go, you know. That is awesome. Yeah, I miss it too, you know. It's like, and they run the specials all week anyway, so Black Friday doesn't mean anything anymore, you know. I don't know. I feel like all these things that they feel like they're making conveniences for us and whatnot are really like dipping the generations out on really fun experiences.
it
And we don't
is.
even realize it.
You know, it's you know, you're out of the house
Like,
after dark.
Yeah, I remember being like right after Thanksgiving, like one time we were like number one of 27 in Kmart, like line to get in RIP, because I was getting a huge TV for like a ridiculous low amount of money, and we were getting fake Christmas trees. So my cousin grabbed the trees, I grabbed that, and then they gave you an instant $250 Kmart cash. So then we ran around and did like Christmas shopping with it.
Yeah,
Now we don't have Kmart's up here, you know, but it was. Sorry,
you're good.
dog is barking. But it's like those types of experiences. Like it's fun. It's something to look forward to, you know. And now it doesn't really exist anymore.
No,
And it's like that. They wonder why malls are empty and stuff. It's because people aren't shopping anymore. It's just because you shop through a company online and you order through there doesn't keep the stores open.
no,
You
and
know?
you miss
So
that social interaction.
you do. It's one of the things I look forward to every single Christmas season when I was a kid. Every single year is my aunt and my nana and I would go up to Boston and go Christmas shopping. And I look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like nobody does anything like that anymore. If you don't take the time, it's much easier to press click and send, you know, and that's really sad is we need to get back to basic on things because we are gypping our children and ourselves out of memories and experiences.
And it's true. You know, for me personally, I have two autistic kids. So I don't
Right.
get to go on vacations or trips right now because they're not ready and I have no one to watch them. So mom's free time is the trip to the grocery store or to, you know, to the Walmart or Target.
It is, and it's hard. It really is, and it's you know, or just going out to dinner, you know, and trying to do that. Honey, come on this way. And trying to go out to dinner or something like that, you know, is that you're constantly working on helping them, you know.
No, it's just, you know, in our house it was always, you know, the women cooked, they made, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, the boys watched sports, and then we'd all sit and look at the catalogs to see we had to run to the store and get that newspaper on Thanksgiving to figure out what were the Black Friday sales. You know, and even now, you know, my kids would sit with the catalogs and circle everything they wanted for Christmas. And you got to hurry up and get that stuff.
I remember we used to all eat at like 2:30 in the afternoon because Black Friday shopping, you know? Like, even like when my aunt and uncle would come down, because I'm on Cape Cod, in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and my aunt and uncle, they would come down with my cousins from New Hampshire, they would have to leave after Thanksgiving because Black Friday shopping, you know? Same thing, my dad's brother, my uncle, he was a huge Black Friday shopper, huge. And it's like my mom and I used to go, especially when Best Buy first opened here when I was in high school. And I remember the lines were so long, so you'd have one person just get in line first while the other person shops, and then that person comes and stands in line and the other person shops. Otherwise, you ain't never going to make it out that store.
That's it. Or you sit, you grab the flyers as you're waiting to get into the store, and coordinate. All right, you're going to this aisle, you're going to this spot, you know.
Oh yeah, I like refer to it like the Hunger Games. Remember?
Yes.
That's exactly what it was like. Yeah, you know, I miss it. The hunt. Do you remember there was like trampling? I mean, that's not good. I'm not saying trampling for good or that I miss the trampling. But I'm just saying is it was that severe. Do you remember there were people who would get trampled? Like, I believe it happened at a Walmart or something one time. Do you remember that?
Remember the Elmo debacle? And the Cabbage Patch Dolls. The fist fights.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
You know, and it was funny because like back then my mom was working 2 jobs and one of them was stocking shelves at Kmart. So she always got to hide her stuff that she wanted for Black Friday. And she would tell me where it is and we'd go pick it all up. So we got the Elmo. My son always got all the Elmos.
That's awesome. Well, see, that's like what do you call it? Is I love Kmart because of their layaway. Okay, thanks, honey. Go ahead. I love Kmart because of the layaway. You know, so you could put stuff there that you wanted, and then like they still applied Black Friday deals to it. So then you go and pay it on Black Friday. You know, it was awesome. Okay, thanks, honey. I'm getting updates about the mailman being here.
Oh, I got another half hour before mine shows up. That's the one thing about living in a small town.
I got to run out and grab this stuff, so it's raining here today pretty good.
Hi, Overton. How are you? He's a regular call-in. We're talking about holiday traditions and how they're kind of starting to go away and how we're robbing our kids from the excitement that we all went through.
Experiences.
Well, for me, what I could say, I didn't really much had a nat talent for celebrating the holidays. I know, like I'm telling everybody, like my birthday was just another day to me. Thanksgiving was just another day to me. Until they're like, no, we gotta do something. And I was like, all right, this is not dirty. Don't squeeze my arm. And then I just did all the traditional things, you know, food and everything else. And now we're just all planning and setting up trees and stuff like that. And it just makes me go back to when I was a kid, back when I had the enthusiasm and I wanted to participate in tradition and stuff like that. Make sure they don't lose that, you know, 'cause, like you can't get those back, those feelings of excitement and unity. in the family, you know.
Absolutely.
There was some time. I'll go ahead.
No, I just said absolutely. You're absolutely right.
You know, back when I was a kid, we used to string the popcorn, and you know, half of it ended up in your mouth, half of it ended on the floor, and the rest of it, if you're lucky, got half a chain around the tree.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Just goofy
I still do with
things.
my kids is the cutting of the green and red construction paper, and we do the loop, the
Mhm.
panes, and then we've decorated clothespins. So whenever we get our Christmas cards from somebody, and we call it Christmas cards from years past, is we hang up every single one on there with our decorated clothespins.
That's it,
It's like I know before. I know is like we were talking before about Black Friday, and that being gone too bad, is that experience, that fun, closeness.
Well, now a lot of schools aren't celebrating Christmas anymore either. So kids don't get that chance to Secret Santa shop and, do things and have those parties in the school.
No, and I don't find it fair though. But then other religions are taught, you know what I mean? And it's not about the religion. It's like it can even just be. It's just fun, Like why can't it just be fun?
Then why can't we just have a holiday party?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just have a holiday party. Exactly. It's just a celebration. Like we all need celebrations, like and things to look forward to for no reason to anyway. It's just to get that feeling. And we need to make sure that our kids get to experience that too. Like today, like my youngest and I are working on taking out the Christmas villages to get them set up. What is that? Don't touch those, please, okay? It's so funny. Okay, you look different. Okay. No more.
And that's it, as we're becoming more.
Sorry, my youngest found the silly string on top of the fridge while we were talking.
Good luck. Don't worry about it. I've got two that hey.
I'll just clean it up after.
That's it. With kids, you expect the unexpected. And, most kids, especially mine, my 6-year-old is autistic, and he has developed a sense of humor and sarcasm now, which is great. I'm one of them parents that, you know what? Anything unexpected comes out, that's great. So he's all into astrology, all into the planets and all this stuff. And so one of his Christmas presents is going to be a telescope. Well, last night, he comes up to me and he goes, "Mom, guess what? Go look at the moon." I'm like, okay, where is it? He stops, pulls his pants down, and bends over in front of me. See? The moon.
Hello.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, Derek. How are you?
Good, Mary. How are you?
I'm happy.
Hi, Derek.
Hi, how are you? Who's this? Who am I speaking with?
My name's Sarah.
Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Derek.
Where's everybody from that's on here? I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
I'm from Tennessee.
Nice.
And as my regulars know, I'm from Minnesota. And Overton, you're down in LA, aren't you?
Fresno, California.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the world
Very cool.
of one season.
Very cool. No, I just love that. I love the fact it's like everybody's all around, like, the country right now. We're all together to have a conversation. That's why I asked. I just think that's so cool.
If only we could reach international, that'd be cool.
We currently do.
When?
We have a pretty good following that listens to the replays in Australia, only because the time difference. Because right now it's the middle of the night.
And I know Mary's doing a ton of work on the social media aspect right now too. So like once that's up and running, is like helping share that and getting that going too. She's been off like just working her butt off trying to get things done because the show's good. It's gonna be. She has some amazing stuff coming up. Amazing. So be able to share it and again is get international. even more.
Correct.
Yeah, I want to have a conversation with from Puerto Rico or something.
It's coming.
We're working on it.
It's coming.
Facebook's done too is like sharing it on social media. You know what I mean? That sort of thing is to get to everybody's platforms and help, and that's what this is about. Is building this all up together. Like that's why we all called in today to listen, and so it's that's not unachievable at all.
No.
We can all do it, make it happen, right?
Sharing the hope.
And having faith.
Always.
Right?
Exactly.
Does anybody else have a fun? Does anybody have a fun childhood memory to share, like for Christmas or holidays?
I remember it's we laugh now when I talk about this, but I remember one year I was still believing in Santa Claus, and so technically my grandma we have Christmas at home, and then we go to my grandma's and do Christmas, and she didn't get my mom didn't call her ahead of time and let her know that we were on our way, so she didn't get the presents out. So my uncle was like in his early 20s then when I was little, and he decided to be a jerk. So they go out deer hunting, so he had deer hanging up in the garage. Well, he ended up painting the nose red. And he had this big spiel about Santa Claus didn't make it because he shot Rudolph.
Oh my. How long did it take you to recover from that one?
After my grandma backhanded him.
Rightfully so. That's cool.
It was their boys are mean. But afterwards you start laughing about it and you think about all the things that your families did to torment you when you were little and how you persevered through all that. And it made you who you are. And now we're so in the victim mentality when it comes to life that every time something bad happens, it's always somebody else's fault. And we just shut down from it. Instead of, all right, this happened. Now what do we do to keep moving? What do we do to keep going forward? It's just,
We'll take responsibility for your part in things to be able to make change, and let things go to have peace as well.
You get all wrapped up in the holidays having to be perfect. And you end up burning something or dropping something or something happens. In my house, we have the very low expectation. No trips to the emergency room. Nothing gets burned.
Yeah. I always say that to my kids too when they're messing around, especially on the weekends. I'm like, no, we are not going to the ER on a Sunday. You better knock it off right now.
Right.
No, we keep Christmas low key too. Actually, it's like Christmas lasts for like a week at my house because they get like 2 presents that they really like and they play with those, and then things get slowly unwrapped. And as they do, like they stay under the tree, and then we kind of just put them away as they like open them, type of deal. And then we do a Christmas brunch. So, because like they want to hang out, because we used to go to my grandparents too, like you would right after. And it's like this year, it's like it's just nice to have. We're in our own home, for our first year, and for them to be able to stay home and just kind of play with their stuff, and have Grammy and Papa come here this year. And yeah.
And that's it. We forget that it's not about how many presents you get or how expensive your presents are. That's why you could buy the Barbie doll for $5 instead of $20.
That's exactly what I was hunting. Those and the fairy dancer things that you pull, and you know what I mean, and the swirl. So, yep, I was able to get one of those. Yep, I hear you. I went for the Barbie stuff too, like crazy, because they were marked down from like 23 something to like 6 something,
Yeah, that and the Paw Patrols and.
Right, but at the same time, too, we have a local, like, New England store called Ocean State Job Lot, and for their 40th anniversary, is like they have like everything there, anything you could need, from like clothes to tools to rugs, to toilet paper, And so I went there, and for their 40th anniversary, they did anything like that you purchased throughout that time. 40% of it would go on gift cards before tax. So I just went there and got everything that like I would normally get anyway, and then used the gift cards to be able to shop local and do Christmas shopping for people. To again keep those stores going.
Yes, you brought up a good point. Instead of going to the chain stores and stuff like that, shopping local to get some of the stuff that the one-of-a-kind gifts that you're not going to find anywhere else. Keeping those local stores open and keeping your economy going.
Exactly. And that's one of the things we really got to help. We also think about prices going up, and it's like, well, you wonder why. We're a problem here that we're complaining about.
It is, but it doesn't help that 16-year-olds are making $15 an hour to flip a burger.
Exactly.
McDonald's is supposed to be your first job, not your only job, unless you're working up through the system.
Right. It's like if you're in school or something like that, it's like I remember I worked at Dunkin' Donuts when I was in school for personal training. And, you have to work. I mean, I don't begrudge anybody is like work is work, a job's a job, I just hope people aspire and know that they can always, no matter at any time in their life, no matter how old they are, they can, make a change, choose to grow, go back to school. I did when I was 30.
Well, and a lot of cool things is a lot of these, McDonald's and Burger King and places like that do have programs to help pay for your education. So,
What was that? I missed that part.
A lot of restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King have programs for you to help pay for your education. So as if you're working at,
I know that. See, they should advertise more. I didn't know that.
They used to. I guess maybe they don't anymore. I know they used to advertise it all the time. It's always up in their windows. But yeah, they have scholarship programs to help pay. And as you work your way up into the system, you can start out as a cashier and be a general manager and a district manager and things like that. And it's like I always use the story of Gordon Ramsay. He's my daughter's idol right now, her inspiration. Because he started out, oh god, it's great. She's in the kitchen just like him, and she drives me nuts because as we're making a cake or something, because he's always saying you have to taste everything. So she's got to taste everything. It's like, no, cake batter's disgusting. But he started out washing dishes, and he worked his way through the system and became the Gordon Ramsay. So
Ladasi did the same thing.
Yeah.
Started as a busboy. He got fired too because of his attitude. And look where he is today,
Exactly. And that's like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
No, I haven't. What's that?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is basically like heavy metal music mixed with classical music. It's like Metallica meets the symphony orchestra.
That's cool. I have heard of that. I just didn't know.
Their concerts are phenomenal. I can't wait till my kids are a little bit older to take them, because you got snow in the audience. You have the musicians in the audience bouncing around. You have violinists and, bass guitars. Cool. You got lights. I mean, it is.
It gives them a different look on instruments too, and instruments that are lost that are so beautiful and underrated, like the trumpet.
Well, and the best part is their story. Every time they do a concert, they talk about their story. So part of the band, they're really good friends, was classically trained in Juilliard, played for royalty, played for presidents. His buddy wasn't. Played in bars, dives, stuff like that. And how they met and built a band together. And how it doesn't matter where you start. It's what you do with it and you keep going.
My nonprofit is international, and I started out of my 2-bedroom basement apartment rental. is it doesn't matter where you start. You are not limited by any means. As one of my favorite leaders is Walt Disney. He started out of a barn and spent most of his writing career homeless.
Yep.
But kept going and didn't give up. And he had people along the way that left because they couldn't. He had a mission. It wasn't to get rich. It wasn't anything like that. It was a mission to bring joy to families and have it pure. And he kept it pure, and it prospered, and it prospered huge. And he welcomed those back, that were there in the beginning that had to leave.
It's same thing with Danny Thomas.
Yeah, exactly.
And St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
And those are good leaders. And it goes to show when you have a mission is you have to keep it pure and honest or it won't prosper. And he did, and it's just amazing. That's why I hate how kids nowadays think they just,
the world,
they're alive, they go to school, they get a job, and that's it. It's like, no, you have a purpose. You are meant to do something great.
That's it. And the world revolves around them. They assume because they have a college degree, they can get a job with no experience, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And if you look at every great entrepreneur, every great leader, it has always started from the bottom, but also with selfless acts.
Yep.
And they never forgot where they came from.
No, and that's that humbleness that you have to keep, because otherwise it gets taken away from you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And always remembering, a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about Donald Trump. But as an individual man, he worked the company. He started out sweeping the floors. He's
built an empire.
And he lost it. He built another one. He kept, but he started out in those humble beginnings.
People think that because he filed bankruptcy that he was a bad businessman. It's not. That's good business.
He just had bad judgment in who he married. He just had bad judgment in who he married.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, we all have our faults, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But part of doing good business though is sometimes, with the bankruptcy, is cutting your losses so that you can keep your businesses afloat, which he did. And to be honest, he served this country for free.
Yep. And he does so much for troops and for charities and individuals.
He did so much for our military and what those, I don't want to get too political, what I mean, right now, but, is he spent his final days doing things for the military that couldn't be undone, that the current administration is trying their hardest to undo.
Yep.
And I hope the world sees that,
The one thing
and realizes that that's an issue.
I served in the military, and I have a lot of friends that do. And, there's so many stories about how they got stranded somewhere and how he personally helped get them home. And how he would charter jets, his own private jet, to make sure that soldiers, if you got stuck somewhere, could get back home or get back to your base or get where you need to go. Military.
When my ex, I got disconnected for a minute there, so I just got back on. But remember when my ex did his first deployment is under the Obama administration, and he had done a deal where, like, pretty much there wasn't air support, which meant, like, once you were boots on the ground, like, you were there, nobody was going to come fly back to get you, and that's scary.
Yep.
Know?
Oh yeah, you were
sitting ducks.
Yeah. It was, we don't negotiate with terrorists, and if you're stuck, you're stuck.
Thank you. That's exactly what it was. He negotiated with terrorists, and he made it so that it looked like our men didn't matter. And to be honest with you, as it's continuing on with this administration now too, And I am thankful to our previous President Trump for everything that he has done for the active duty soldiers, their family, and the VAs, like everything, and the things that he worked so diligently to make permanent so that they couldn't be changed. And I hope, again, that the world sees an issue with the fact that this administration is now working so hard to undo those things. Why would we not want the best for our military? Why would we not want the best for our veterans? Why would we not want the best for their families?
Well, the cool thing is, and a lot of people don't realize this, is, you've got kids, so you go through and watch Santa Tracker every year. Where you go on a NORAD and you get to watch where Santa is and they make the big announcements. You get to call in and talk to Santa Claus.
Yeah, I know. We've used that before in the tracker where you can see where he's flying.
That's all done by the Air Force, and it's all volunteer.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? And I love it. And nobody knows that, and that's tragic. And that's what I've been working on is for people, for these generations, is bringing in different clubs so that they can learn about them, what they are. If they don't participate in them, and then they cease to exist. And they're spiritual clubs. They just don't have the foresight right now to see it.
And the cool thing is the gentleman that does the Tuesday shows, Rick Reese, he is retired Air Force. He is the one that helped put those satellites into space. If it wasn't for men like Rick Reese in the Air Force, you couldn't track Santa Claus.
Right. Wow, that's really cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm mommy tasking here with lunch.
Hey.
It's very hot, honey, so let them cool down, okay? Very hot. Here we go. I just do put them on the floor, so I just got done wiping that up while I was talking with y'all.
That's how it works. Multitasking.
Always an adventure. Anybody on who has kids feel like you clean up the same mess 18 times a day? Or get one extra thing accomplished, and that's it.
Or you get one room cleaned, you turn around and clean another one, and the other room is back the way it was. Yes.
They trashed it. Yeah, you know what I mean? One of those hospital blankets, and I glued some of those Duplo box to it and some other random toys that we weren't going to keep from like birthday parties. And so now I throw that down after I clean something. Like everybody thought I was kidding when I said I was going to make it, but I did. I went ahead and made it. So now when I clean an area, I just put that down so it looks like it's just messy.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Hopefully they'll stay out of it.
Oh, I had the sign up as you walk in my garage to go into my house because we use our garage as like a play zone for the kids in the winter. And it says, "Don't mind the mess. My kids are making memories." I have the disclaimers. My house is a disaster.
Right. I just clean it at nighttime. I'm just like, I just got to clean the house because my kids prefer to trash it fresh,
Mm-hmm. That's it. And it's funny because like my son's, he's funny. So our living room is a walking disaster because that's where his like place is. But his room, when he goes to play in his room.
My house looks like we're losing to a game of Jumanji.
Yeah.
Right now, between like trying to get Christmas stuff out and like all the organization stuff. So like no judgment here, trust me. Like it's
But his bedroom is immaculate.
That's how my daughter is, Layla. She has to have everything. It's perfect. You know what I mean?
Then you have the next one who is a walking disaster. You can clean her room 5 minutes later. It looks like the toy box threw up.
Yep. Again, I just cleaned sunscreen off of my wood floors.
Yeah.
So I hear you on that one. Again, making memories,
Hey, I'm one of them moms that waxes the wood floor just on purpose to see him slide across the floor because I need entertainment.
Well, they gotta serve their dues. I'm thinking they're at that age now where they're emptying the dishwasher, loading it, making lunches, that sort of thing. And is doing the fall cleanups with the leaves and whatnot. I'm thinking of renting them out to the neighbors.
There you go. Mine's learning laundry, so we have separate baskets. Mine's learning laundry right now, so we have separate baskets. The mom don't touch clothes.
Yep. We have a 3 separating one.
Yep.
So one's for towels, one's for, colors and whites to separate. and then one's for darks, and then it's like I separate the sneaky pinks. The sneaky pinks and put them with a dark load because they come off on it. But she's getting really good at laundry too. So it's like, there's another skill right there. But it's like I've always had my kids right along with me doing things. Like I was fortunate enough with my oldest where I took care of a woman who lived like 5 minutes away from our house, and it was just Layla and I was able to take care of this woman from the time that like Layla was 5 months old to the time she was like almost 3 years old. And she came to work with me every day. So it's like I got to have a lot of that time, and I swear it's from her watching and like caring. It was like the one day she went to go feed the woman with a spoon, and it was like, okay, you need to go to school, and be a kid, type of deal. But I swear it's what part of what made her so kind as well, and also I love that time that I had with her.
That's it, because you never get it back. And that's, a lot of parents are like that too. I
tried to remind parents of that during COVID, when everybody's like, oh my gosh, it was like I remember sneaking out for a cigarette one time, like during COVID, because it was like when the kids were starting to get stir crazy, at first. And I was talking to my friend on the phone, and I told her, I was like, they're literally licking the slider right now while I'm talking to you. It was like times were tough at first, but at the same time, I was trying to encourage parents and remember myself and remind others of, we don't get this time with our kids normally. Is instead of it being a task or, something to do, it's really a gift that we will appreciate when they're older, I think, or we can enjoy it now,
That's it too, not taking all this time for granted. Because pretty soon they're not going to want anything to do with you.
Exactly. It was the first night that my daughter, she doesn't do it anymore. She just did it this one random night. She just said, all right, good night, Mom. Instead of like, Mara, you got to tuck me in. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my gosh. Like she did, and I just said, okay, good night, honey, I love you. And I gave her a hug and a kiss. And like, of course, then I cried after she went to bed. And she doesn't know this while she slept. I went in there and snuggled her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, they just grow up, and they wake up bigger, on days. It's crazy. There's no other way to describe it other than that. Is they just do, and someday that's gone.
And then the cycle starts all over again because they turn around and start taking care of you.
Right, exactly. And the thing with our children too is we are not guaranteed them. We only have them for a short amount of time. So we need to teach them to be good people, contributing members of society, and in today's day and age, right from wrong, but how to survive in society's norms. And I hope that we did it in a good enough job and in a good enough way that they still want to visit us when we no longer have them.
That's it. So we are almost out of time for today. And today we talked about holiday traditions and how you can't just let them go to the wayside. And spending time with your families and with your kids. And taking the time to just unplug from social media and unplug from life. And just spend that time active listening and paying attention to your kids.
We do that too, is like when you go out to dinner, like, I bring Mad Libs with me and we do Mad Libs while we wait, or something like that. It's just the little things, engaging, so important, and creating those memories. It's just,
bringing those traditions back, remembering where you came from, where your family came from, where you belong. You can't figure out where you're going until you figure out where you went.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many stories.
You can't get to where you want to go until you know where you want to go.
Exactly. There's so many people that I get to benefit from, because my grandma told us about our family coming here from Germany and why we celebrate St. Nicholas Day and why it's such an important aspect of life. And my husband, on the other hand, didn't have that. He doesn't know much.
We didn't do it either, but I think is like when you brought it up earlier today when we talked, is like I just thought it was so great because again, it's like you said, it's just it was an elderly gentleman who just did it for no reason. You know, I'd love to hear more stories of that too, of like people today doing good things for no reason. You know,
Exactly. You know,
and I don't mean there's no reason. I just mean just because.
right.
People doing good things just because that's what we are supposed to do. You know, one of the things that drives me nuts is when somebody says, I'm trying to be good. Like, how the hell you got to try to be good? Like, you can just be a good person, you know? You got to try to be bad, you know? It takes more effort to be bad and, like, lie and cheat, you know, that sort of thing, than it does to just be a decent person.
It is.
You know, when you walk into a store or something like that, like, find something to compliment somebody on. It's very easy.
You see something on the ground, pick it up.
And you have no idea what they have going on in their lives. And they probably really needed that. Like, you never know when you're somebody's boat or when somebody's going to be yours, you know? So just be kind. We're only responsible for ourselves. We're not responsible for anybody else. So just because somebody else isn't kind to us doesn't give us the justice or the right to, you know, stoop to that level. Instead, those people are the ones that probably need the kindness the most because they probably have something going on in their lives.
You know, even something simple as a smile or holding the door open if you see someone struggling.
Yeah. Or just say hi.
And just
How
say
are
hi.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, see something on the
Very
ground,
simple.
pick it up. You know,
Exactly.
some
We do that with trash all the time.
well, you know, like my daughter, we can go into the grocery store, someone knocks something over, she picks it up, puts it on the shelf.
Yeah. Likewise. That's good though.
Sometimes it drives me
I'm sorry, I have
nuts.
to sign. Yeah, I know, but that's just trying to be good. My daughter will do that when I'm at the convenience store withholding the door for everybody. You know what I mean? While I'm trying to pay at checkout, you know, and watch her and make sure she doesn't go outside. And she's like, "Oh, let me get the door for you," you know.
Yeah, that's it.
It's so sweet. But thank you so much for having me on today to chat. It was wonderful. But I have to sign off now.
You have a good day, and we'll talk to you another day.
You too. And everybody else too. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It was great hearing from you, and thanks for sharing.
Tomorrow is family time with Bob Oakley. He talks about how faith helps him and how it can help you go through all the challenges in life. On Friday is a special St. Nicholas Day edition of the Kindness Campaign with the Optimize My Life and the Hope Collection. President Ron Clayton, guest hosts with Len Kane. Don't forget tonight at 7 Eastern Time, we are doing a live show. Call-in line for teens and individuals who are struggling in their life. And I will be back here, same time, same place next week. Anything you'd like to add, Overton?
I'd just like to say, as always, thanks for having me. May our words reach those who are without voice, who are without guidance, that they may garner value and see the potential in themselves and in their actions that may build towards a better future. Because isn't that what our forefathers dreamt of when they had to go through their own struggles, their own trials and tribulations to reach this point? And it is our role
90
to
seconds.
improve upon and improve our quality of life.
It is.
And yeah.
All right, we're out of time for today. I loved having you on, Overton. You're always welcome.
Likewise.
And have a happy St. Nicholas Day. And we'll see you all back here tomorrow. Bye for now.
All right, everybody.
60 seconds.